What's up, y'all? I know I keep having this as a thing, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I wasn't even planning on actually having anything quite tonight, but if you've seen SummerSlam, as we'll talk about here, I mean, I had to jump on. There was just no way I wasn't going to, but yeah. As far as the other stuff, I may or may not come through with something here in the next couple of days talking about that. I mean, we'll see how that goes, but it seems as though I'm jumping right back into the grind again, and I'm going to look to stay on it a lot better than what I have. Hopefully, I can keep things going this time. I know I keep saying that, but we'll see what happens. But moving right along, we're just going to jump right into things. I mean, again, SummerSlam 2 night event out at East Rutherford, New Jersey, MetLife Stadium. I mean, it was incredible stuff to see just as a whole. I mean, certainly one of the better productions of the year. I don't know any other way of looking at that. You, of course, started last night with the OTC, Roman Reigns, and main event Jey Uso going against the Braun Stars, and are actually successful, and amazing stuff that went on storytelling wise, and just general match in ring psychology was just real well done with this, and even more so for the things that would happen throughout the night. But even with all that being the case, it's just hard to not think about, the fact that even from that point, that was again a good match to start the night with. It kept going from there. You had, of course, Jade Cargill, Tiffany Stratton. You had the women's tag title match. You have a couple of other matches that I'm struggling to remember right now, but of course, you also have the main event, which was of course, in coming in the World Heavyweight Champion in Gunther, taking on CM Punk, who I gotta say had to have had one of his, if not the most meaningful performance of his career. I would say right up there with his performance where he actually defeated John Cena for the WWE Championship in Chicago on his last night as a contracted WWE superstar. And to me, it's just like you put the two of those together, you can't get too much better than that when speaking about CM Punk and everything that has happened with his career. And of course, you have him emotional in the middle of the ring celebrating he's finally back at the mountaintop, or so you think. And of course, the next thing you know, you hear "Burn It Down," and you got Paul Heyman with the Money in the Bank briefcase in tow with Seth freaking Rollins, who comes out with a knee brace, a really big knee brace that's actually covering pretty much the majority of his leg, and of course he's on crutches given his knee injury that he suffered back at Saturday Night's main event a month ago in his match against LA Knight, or at least so it seemed anyway. And of course, at that point, he's on crutches, letting Punk know. And as Michael Cole is pointing out, he has until June of next year to cash in the briefcase. And he's letting him know that he's on borrowed time. And as he's starting to head back towards the back, he actually stops, slowly gets rid of the crutches, turns around, slowly takes off the brace, and of course the knee is fine. Now that doesn't mean that he didn't actually tweak the knee or have some sort of issue, but it actually worked out pretty well in favor of what we wound up getting here. Of course, the then new World Heavyweight Champion in CM Punk, prone to yet another Seth Rollins cash-in at the end of a Big Four pay-per-view, no less, be it night one and all. I mean, and there was only so much Punk can do, and the rest is history. But man, as if night one wasn't cool, and I felt like this was the case. It was something I was thinking about after the show was over. I mean, as good as night one was, you got to imagine they're going to try to top it with night two. Boy, did they ever, and in ways that I didn't even expect, especially at the end, which we'll go over here in a moment. But yeah, of course, you start things off with the Women's World Triple Threat Championship match. Rhea, Rhea, Io, and Naomi, and of course Naomi getting the cool entrance, where, of course, a lot of people didn't know this. Her father is a pretty well-known guitar player and pretty damn good, I will say, as he was doing the cover for her entrance. And I gotta say, it made it even better when she actually ended up retaining. And to me, again, much like night one, great way to start the night off. Of course, she would go from there to the, of course, um, the or not Money in the Bank. I don't know why I'm calling it that. The TLC Tag Title match with literally the entirety of the SmackDown Tag Division taking on the members of the Wyatt Six, Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis, which of course that was filled with insane moments, including Candice LeRae taking the mother of all bumps, getting knocked off the top of the ladder onto a ladder ringside. And oh my God, God bless that woman. That, I mean, jeez, just to have a spot like that to think about is insane, especially someone built the way that Candice is. And then you go from there to the women's IC title match, Lyra's final shot with Becky as the champion. And of course, everything is pretty well done with this, especially with Bayley's involvement. And damn, the ass in those pants. But anyway, yeah, it was just really, really cool to see all of that. Um, Becky, of course, with her own new theme music, and is successful in retaining. Lyra no longer gets a shot at the title, unfortunately, due to Bayley's involvement again. Going to be interesting to see where that storyline goes from there. And of course, the mid-card title matches, the Steel Cage, Solo versus Jacob. Pretty much everything you would expect in that match, but then you go from that to Dom and AJ for the IC title. I mean, that was really cool because, of course, AJ comes out with his music, but he comes out in a lowrider, a la Eddie Guerrero with his son. I forgot what they said his name was, but either way, they come out in the lowrider. They do pretty much the hydraulics shit, which is funny to see. And then you see him hop out the lowrider, and he's wearing Eddie Guerrero-inspired gear. I mean, no misses on this whatsoever. Everything came together well, and it looked good for Dom to retain the title. And then, of course, you get to the main event, Cody and Cena, which I feel like had to have been one of the better SummerSlam main events I've seen in a really, really long time. And Cena just being in the amazing shape that he's in, the insane training regimen that he's taken on over the years is just remarkable. But gosh, what a match it was. Of course, we have a new WWE Undisputed Champion, Cody Rhodes, for the second time. And of course, they have a moment. Everything's emotional, similar to last night, with Punk having win the world title. Cody gives the ring to Cena for his final goodbye to the crowd at SummerSlam, and of course in East Rutherford. And just as we think we're getting that moment, music hits. And at this point, I feel like everybody in the building has to be going nuts. And also because of the fact that, much like everybody in Jersey, I'm thinking to myself, like, this isn't real. This isn't real. But then it is. Brock Lesnar, the Beast Incarnate, is back. I gotta tell you, this has gotta be one of the wildest things I've seen in a long time. Especially given the speculation that has been going on over the last X number of months. I can't really remember how long it's been, but for whatever reason, he was supposedly in big trouble, which is hard for me to understand because the federal case, which he was merely a significant person of interest in, between Vince McMahon and Janelle Grant, that was dropped. I mean, as far as I know, I think there's still a civil case. I haven't heard much about that in a considerable amount of time, so maybe that didn't really go all that much anywhere after that. Who knows? But how this man was even in trouble is hard to imagine. But clearly, that shit was very much exaggerated, and the Beast is back. Just like me. Beast incarnate Brock Lesnar is back, and of course, we can't let Cena live. He comes through, hits him with the F5, and then he bounces in true Brock Lesnar fashion. I mean, man, how insane is it to think that after all this time, and the last appearance that I remember him having, as I recall, was Royal Rumble of 2024, and he had his actual stare down with Gunther. And it looked like they were going to have a match at the upcoming Mania, but of course, he was removed as a result of being a person of interest in the Vince McMahon Janelle Grant case. Obviously, that's no longer an issue. So, yeah, we'll see where everything goes from here. I imagine we got a final match between Brock and Cena. We'll see where that happens, but either way, the Beast is back, and so am I. So, yeah. Y'all know what it is, and I'm going to leave it at that. We'll be back with more. We'll see how we do that, but Brock Lesnar is back, man. And so am I. But I'm out for now.